The only way to save this world of all is if we free our minds. Only way to stop all this killing and hate, is if we free our minds.
I'm Judy Alexander. I'm one of many of the leaders for the Community Build Project. Housing Solutions Network is the organization from which this project was spawned. And I want to take a minute right now to give a very, very special thank you to someone who made this whole place possible for us. Jim Lyman is the minister of this church. This location could not have been more auspicious, not just for today, but for building these shelters. It's like painting them bright colors. Thank you, Jesse Thomas. In the middle of Port Townsend, where everybody has to drive by. Lots of people have gotten involved. I want to invite Michelle Sandoval, our mayor, to step forward.
The housing crisis didn't happen overnight. It's been building for a decade. Many layers of government don't recognize crisis until it's on top of us. We react instead of being proactive. And I think in this community, many times, the wonderful thing about it is that we have citizens who push government. And I want to thank you all for your involvement. I also want to just ask if any of you have neighbors that have great fear of these shelters, to ask them to reconsider, to ask them to get involved. Because all of our brothers and sisters need housing. Amen. And they need it before anything else can change. And so it's our duty to make sure that the people who need the help among us, it's up to us. And it's up to government. I believe that's what government is for.
Rose is a resident of Bayside. She's going to tell you a brief little bit about how she's been doing there, and then we'll have Mike Schlechter come up next. He's the case manager of Peters Place Village in Hadlock.
I was rescued by angels and saved from staying in the shelter or living on the woods by the mill. And then I have been healed by Bayside, because every service that's available, they will help you get into it. And the gardens, this is the 5th year, the fabulous gardens. They hacked out of blackberry patches for 5 years. And I'm a main volunteer in the garden, and that is very healing. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, Bayside.
So I have been looking at local social media, which might have been a mistake because there's some negativity out there about our projects. And when I talk to my residents and the residents at the campground, I say when people label you, remember your identity. This work is not an obligation. This work is a privilege. You're helping people whose lives are literally in the balance. These are the lives you are saving. And this is our privilege, is to save these people. So I want to say thank you so very, very much to all of you for this.
Speakers, I want to introduce Scott Rosecrans. Scott is the minister who stepped up last December 1st or Thanksgiving last year when we were building shelters here and we had no place to put. Scott Rosecrans responded to an outreach by Peter Bonnion. He's the minister of the Community United Methodist Church in Hadlock. And he said, yes, you can bring your shelters out here. Other churches in our community can do what Scott has done. We need more churches to step in because they actually have special leeway for housing unsheltered people, and I'll let Scott tell you about that.
My name is Scott Rosecrans, and I am the pastor at Community United Methodist Church in Port Hadlock. It's been our church's honor and distinction to be Jefferson County's first, but not last, tiny home sponsor. There's some legislation out there, there's a statute out there that allows churches, nonprofit organizations, a lot of leeway and freedom to do whatever they want to with their property. Commissioner Brotherton and several other people got on board with it. And literally overnight, they started building and putting this thing together. As of today, Peters Place has been up and running officially for 7 months. And speaking as the pastor of the church, we have had absolutely no problems whatsoever out of these residents. They're our neighbors, and we've gotten to to know them. And we've gotten to know them because our church, we have 3 mission rooms at our church. We have a clothes closet, a food pantry, and another room where we keep sleeping bags, tents, bedding, towels, and hygiene kits. And I have several engaged volunteers that open up our mission rooms on Saturday mornings from 10 to 1. And as of today, for the month of July, we had 47 visits to our mission room. They know they can come over and get food, blankets, towels, shoes, socks, whatever. We know them as neighbors, but now we know them as people. So we really enjoy these people. They come over, they share their stories with us, they tell us what their wants and needs are, and we do what we can to meet them. And we do it because we know that it matters. It matters to them, and it matters to us. I had a lady show up at our church a week and a half ago. Her landlord decided to move into the house, and she's homeless, and she's 75 years old, living in her car with her cat. What do? You know, I signed her up and sent her to Bayside. Hopefully, she'll find a place to live and a place to stay.
Order-wise, we have one more speaker, Greg Brotherton. Greg is one of our county commissioners. Come on up, Greg. He's been a wonderful, wonderful proponent of housing for everyone. He held our hand through that whole process last fall. Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you very much, Judy, and thank you everyone for being here and for being part of the community build. You know, I did not do a lot for Peter's Place. A little bit of kind of liaison work between the county and this great community project, and I do feel that we have traction, you know, in a lot of different arenas, the faith-based areas and the governments, county and city working together to work on this really intractable crisis that we're all dealing with. You know, even if we are comfortably housed, we all recognize that it's our neighbors that don't have a place to stay. And so I really appreciate your interest in this work, and I feel like all of these different agencies are kind of getting their feet under them. I'm hoping that we get some of these wooden tents at a you know, a safe landing pad for the fairgrounds population, and that this project just keeps building up the steam that has been so great to watch.
Yeah, let's see.
Let's take a look, because I think you'll be really impressed with what it feels like when you get inside.
Okay.
This is one of the singles. We have this all ready so that people can see what it would look like eventually. We are collecting donations now for all of the furnishings. But just to give you an idea, that we have a desk unit and a shelving unit that were built by Tim Lawson, who's with the woodworking school and did a beautiful job. And now we're looking for the funds for materials so we can have volunteers build the others. Each shelter will have bedding for people to start with. Bedding, a rug, fan. There's actually going to be a small heater in here. We don't have it right now to show, but that way people will be warm enough in the winter, although the buildings are completely insulated.
If you have been a volunteer, and if you want to be a volunteer, we can use you because we'll be building more. Thank you very much.